All right, welcome to Money Chat Now. I am your host, Larry Steinhouse, and we are brought to you by Investor Schooling. If you can go to investorschooling.com, and you can take a complimentary class tonight, even if you'd like, or any other Thursday at investorschooling.com. So today is Thursday, August 19th, 2021, and we're going to be talking about some interesting things today. We're going to be talking about how the Dow dropped, but kind of recovered a little bit, not bad. We're going to talk about something we don't usually talk about. We're going to talk about Kabul, the DC bomb threats, and what might be next. We're going to talk about the tax credit payments releasing stress for many Americans. Macy's, the big surprise today. We're going to discuss whether gold is a good investment. We're going to talk about Robinhood and what happened to Robinhood and the future of Robinhood. And of course, some of my favorite picks. So let's talk about the Dow right away. So the Dow was down about 270 points at one point today, and it finished down 66, which is actually pretty good when you think about it. However, there were some sectors that were beat up pretty bad. The recovery sectors were beat up pretty bad, but some of the things that kept the market up were retail, such as food, supplies, and staples kept the market going today, and also healthcare, or actually, like pharmaceuticals, kept the market going today. So that's what kept things going. That's what allowed the S&P to finish up almost 15 points today. Of course, energy and materials are lagging, but you need to understand that come August, a lot of times the stock market doesn't do so well. So every August we see some kind of drop. Sometimes it's better, sometimes it's worse, but it's always something in August. Now you got to remember that everybody goes on vacation in August. So right now this is the most vacation time of the year. So you have some of the smarter people that went on vacation, and maybe they're not buying and selling as much as they used to, or maybe they're not paying attention to their screens as much as they used to. I know as a stock and stock options trader, sometimes when I'm not paying attention, sometimes when I'm on vacation, I'm not paying attention, I notice my account is down, I panic out. So that's what may be happening. That's certainly a possibility. But the reality is people are on vacation, and August often drops, so don't get scared away yet. Now, there's some plays that are very, very scary right now, and unfortunately, as I've said before, I'm in some of them. I want to talk a little bit about what's going on in Kabul, the DC bomb threats, and what's going to go on next. Now, look, we had a complete change in leadership in this country. And, whether you're a Biden fan or a Trump fan, it really doesn't matter. What we've gone from a guy who sat there and, who was tough and he was strong, and he said, hey, listen, if you guys can't do anything you want in the United States, now we have leadership that's weaker. And again, maybe it's weaker because they believe in other things, or maybe it's weaker because they're just weak. I don't know which. It doesn't really matter. The problem now is we've got the whole Kabul, the whole Afghanistan mess going on. So there were crowds that were trying to flee the country the day after Kabul fell to the Taliban, and it's basically thinned out. So it's not as bad as it was before. The situation is stabilizing, but obviously we're monitoring very carefully, said the UK Foreign Secretary Dominic Raab. A frenzied and panic-filled week saw thousands of Afghans swarm the tarmac, including some who fell off departing planes in desperate attempts to get out. I don't know if you've seen the videos, but you've seen some of these videos. These guys were so desperate to get out, they actually hung on to the wings of the airplane and tried to hang on and see what they could. The Pentagon said Thursday that it evacuated approximately 7,000 people out of Kabul by cargo aircraft in the past 5 days. The U.S. military can currently airlift approximately 5,000 to 9,000 people a day out of Kabul, but that figure depends on people and the airfield ready to leave. I'm just astounded by that number, that there's 5,000 to 9,000 people a day that they can evacuate. Now, I don't know how many they need to evacuate, but that's a lot of people. More than 2,000 people were evacuated on a C-17 aircraft in the past 24 hours. About 300 of them were Americans. So they're basically pulling people out who are not just Americans. We're going to do everything in our power to get all Americans out and our allies out, Biden said, adding that he may consider extending the August 31 deadline of a full troop withdrawal. So Biden said by August 31st, he's going to have everybody out of there. But now he may need to extend that deadline. However, the Taliban says they're going to give the U.S. till 9/11 to do just that. Do they have to pick that date, really? They have to pick the 9/11 date, but, whatever. This is what they want to do. These are the games they want to play. Let them play their games, and that, it is what it is. We also had bomb threats today. We had a North Carolina man surrender to police hours after saying he had a bomb while parked in his truck outside the Library of Congress on Capitol Hill. The suspect, 49-year-old Floyd Ray Rosenberry, military got out of his black pickup truck after an hour-long standoff had led to the evacuation of the library, the Supreme Court, a House office building, and the offices of the Republican National Committee. The U.S. Capitol Police Twitter feed warned people to stay away from the area. He gave up and did not resist. So they got into his truck, and you know what they found? They found a, you're not going to believe it, but they found a propane gas container in the truck, and at this point they think they're kind of safe. So basically this guy was just, I don't know, maybe he was just a weirdo looking for attention, it sounds like. All right, but the reason I brought that up, and I brought all that up, is because what's going on here in the country. What's going on in the country, we have some changes happening. So the stock market, and the reason the stock market is really, you know, kind of like, should we go here? Should we go there? Should we go here? Should we go there? That's what's happening right now. So you need to understand that stock market trades on emotion. All the people in the stock market, all the money managers trade on emotion. So there's a lot of emotion going on right now. People are getting scared. People are getting nervous. But it's weird because I've seen this before. They get scared and they get nervous, and then they get unscared and unnervous. The stock market has one of the shortest memories I've ever seen in any entity, if you want to call it an entity. So my guess is about this time next week, unless, of course, some of this continues, by next week, people are going to forget, unfortunately, they're going to forget about the Taliban. And then I don't mean forget about it as like, oh, you know, it's not here anymore, but forget about its effect on the stock market. So watch for that. Anyway, we're going to take a quick break, and we're going to come back and talk about tax credit payments.
Okay, so you've thought about investing in real estate, houses, apartment buildings, properties, but don't really know where to start. Well, what if you could very easily learn how to gain strategies to use other people's money to buy and sell houses in the Philadelphia area? If you could learn and network with successful area real estate investors and how to produce monthly income on rental properties without headaches, that place is Investor Schooling. With Investor Schooling, you'll learn from two Philadelphia area rockstar real estate investors, Phil Falcone and Larry Steinhouse, about how to buy and sell properties the easy way and teach you basic and advanced techniques to help you make money in real estate. You can attend Investor Schooling in person or online visual classes 8 times a month. You can and will learn how to make money in real estate. Call for free information and get a complimentary pass to one of these classes. But don't delay, as these complimentary passes are limited. Call the number on your screen now or visit investorschooling.com. investorschooling.com.
All right, welcome back to Money Chat Now. I am your host, Larry Steinhouse, and so far today we've been talking about the fact that the Dow dropped about 270 points, recovered to about only minus 67 points, which wasn't bad. However, some sectors got slaughtered and other sectors came back. We also talked about an unusual topic that we don't usually talk about, Kabul and the DC bomb threats and what that means to the stock market. So let's talk a little bit about tax credit payments and how that's releasing stress for millions of Americans. So the American Rescue Plan earlier this year expanded the existing child tax credit, adding advanced monthly payments and increasing the benefit to $3,000 from $2,000 with a $600 bonus for kids under 6 for the 2021 tax year. The first half of the credit is being delivered in monthly direct payments through December, and the second half will come when families file their 2021 tax returns next year. So basically what happened is, I don't know if we did a show on this a couple of days ago, but basically what happened was there used to be a tax credit. If you had children, there would be a tax credit of $2,000. And that tax credit of $2,000 would be something that you would get when you did file your tax returns. So now they raised it to $3,000, so that's fine. You get a tax credit of $3,000, and they added another $600 if you have children under the age of 6. However, they did something that they've never done before. They advanced it to you. So you can get a payment of up to $300 a month with this tax credit. And that money just went out. So there were people who received this tax credit, and actually in August, millions of American families received the second of 6 advanced child tax credit payments, hundreds of dollars per month for those with eligible kids. For 56% of families receiving just the first monthly child tax credit payment in July, it reduced financial anxiety, according to a recent survey from Parents Together Action, a national parenting organization. More than half surveyed said the payment was a huge deal, and another 40% it was helpful to their family budget. Look, in reality, you get an extra $300 for the average family, that's great. It's great to get it. Parents who received the monthly child tax credit money wasted no time in spending on their families, says the data from the U.S. Census Bureau. Nearly half used the money for food, slashing the food insufficiency rate by more than 20% for households with children. So people are hungry, and they eat. That's awesome. All right. So I actually, by the way, just, my opinion here, I'm a fan of the tax credit. I'm kind of a fan of the fact that they're giving it to you in advance. It's kind of nice that they're doing it. It might just set a bad precedent in the future, that's all. Because, once again, we have the government handing out money, and it might turn into socialism. That's probably the biggest concern I have with it. But look, it is what it is. There are families out there who need it. Let them have it. It's $300. It doesn't matter to me. I don't care. It shouldn't matter to you. And it is what it is. I know your thought is, hey, the taxes are going to go up and blah, blah, blah. They're going up anyway. We got Democrats in play, so they'll do their own thing. All right, let's talk about Macy's being the big winner today. Macy's, first of all, I got to go back to retail. And retail itself, I watched Sears just go away. I watched JCPenney's on their way out. JCPenney's, I don't know, they're kind of almost done. They actually were delisted off the stock exchange because the stock went down so much. So I just figured a year ago, Macy's was just next. But Macy's turns out to be the big winner. Macy's hiked its profit and sales outlook for 2021 heading into the back half of the year. Despite the uncertainty from the pandemic, Macy's said its turnaround strategy is working and drawing new shoppers. I don't know, maybe it's because they're not going to JCPenney's and Sears anymore. The department store chain also reinstated its dividend. They reinstated their dividend. I'm blown away by the fact that Macy's has reinstated their dividend. Wow. And said its board approved a $500 million stock buyback program. They're not only that, they're buying back the stock. Macy's shares soared 15% in early trading on the news. Here's how the company did for the fiscal quarter compared to what Wall Street was anticipating. They did, check this one out, right? $1.29 per share was their earnings. The estimates were 19 cents per share. I would have been blown away if they did 35 cents per share. But 7 times their earnings? They did 7 times their earnings projection? That's incredible. Watch Macy's rock. The revenue was $5.65 billion versus $5 billion. And the net sales grew to $5.65 billion from $3.56 billion a year earlier. That beat the estimates of $5 billion. Hey, if we could take a quick look at the Macy's chart, it'd be great. But let's just talk about this for a second. Like, how in the world can a retailer actually do well in this economy? So again, my only thought over and over again is the fact that the other stores closed and there was no competition. So maybe Macy's, maybe that's it. Maybe that's what they did. Maybe Macy's just does it. So if you take a look at this year-to-date chart, you're going to find this fascinating. Look at this chart. This is fantastic, right? It almost doubled, and maybe it did double, since the beginning of the year, and that's pretty impressive. Okay, let's talk about gold. All right, should regular investors buy gold like Planetary? You guys know that the data company known for its government contracts revealed its earnings statement last week that it bought $50 million in gold bars. This company bought $50 million in gold bars, right? Wow. As part of an investment strategy in non-traditional currencies, the secretive company told Bloomberg News that it was in preparation for future black swan events. Now, I've been saying this for years. I've been saying buy gold, buy silver. I happen to like silver better, but buy gold, buy silver, buy gold, buy silver, just in case something happens. Gold is often seen as a hedge against inflation and currency debasement issues the Federal Reserve is facing as it seeks to dial back some of the monetary stimulus it has provided to the company. So basically, people are buying it as a hedge. I'm buying it because I think it's a great place to be if the zombie apocalypse comes. Now, when I say the zombie apocalypse, I don't actually mean that we're going to be zombies, although some of us already are. But the reality is that bad things can happen, like the internet could go down. And it's not likely, of course, but the internet could go down. And you're going to need a currency to use if that happens. At the same time, I have my investments in several other places, so it really doesn't matter. It's just another place for me to put my money. All right, real quick, I want to run to a commercial, and I want you to see how you could win Phil's car.
Hey, if you were listening to Investor Schooling Live today, I'm Phil Falcone, and I made the decision today on air that I'm going to be giving away this car. You want to take a look at it? Let's do it. How would you like to pop your top without ever getting out of the car? Huh? It's pretty cool. You can do it at a red light. You can do it when you see it rainy. You can actually even do it when you're driving, as long as you don't go maybe faster than 10 miles an hour. So I am giving away this car. Why? Is it because I'm crazy? Is it because I'm rich? Is it because of both? Take your pick. I don't care. Let me tell you about the car. We're going to have a contest. We're looking for real estate investors to go to our website and give us a real estate tip. And you can have people that you know vote on the site about which real estate tip is the most quality, most valuable to them. So let's just say that our contest is going to be looking for quality real estate tips and for votes. So you need to get your friends, your family, people who care about you, and real estate investors who are willing to go on the site and vote for it. And I will give you this car.
All right, welcome back to Money Chat Now. I am your host, Larry Steinhouse, and we have been talking about the stock market today. Hey, I want to talk to you about one of my, actually, I really think it's going to become one of my favorite stocks, which is Robinhood stock. Now, Robinhood had earnings yesterday, and they did all right, but it didn't do what they thought they were going to do. So the shares actually dropped 8% today, and it was falling to the lowest since shortly after its IPO 3 weeks ago. Now, I don't know why they say it dropped the lowest since it's shortly after its IPO. Now look, Robinhood was down at 36. I bought it at 36. I sold it at 72. I bought it back at 50. So, you know, it's okay. I'm just surprised that the news are reporting that it's dropped the lowest. Anyway, in its first earnings report as a public company, Robinhood said late Wednesday that revenue more than doubled in the second quarter to $565 million. Now remember, the analysts expected more. But the company's reliance on the meme-inspired cryptocurrency Dogecoin for most of its growth isn't giving investors much confidence about future quarters. So here's what happened, and this surprises me too. Like Dogecoin, they created a cryptocurrency platform not only for so Robinhood is not only selling stocks to retail investors, but they're also selling cryptocurrency, like Coinbase is doing the same thing. But a lot of their revenue came from specifically trading Dogecoin, and Dogecoin, if you remember, was up at 78, 79 at one point, and that's when this earnings report is from. Or that's when these earnings are from. So it's kind of scary. It's scaring some of the investors and saying, hey, if that doesn't happen next quarter, then basically Robinhood stock may not do as well as it's going to do. The company may not do as well as it's going to do. So it's scaring people. I personally think that Robinhood is going to stay as a great company for a very long time because you've got all these millennials looking for a way to invest in the stock market. They can use TD Ameritrade, they can use Scottrade, but all their friends are using Robinhood, so they're telling them to use Robinhood. That's why Robinhood is on fire right now. I think it's great. Now, there'll be a time where Robinhood will pull back, but I think it's going to hit 150 before it pulls back. But there you go. You have to just decide. All right. We're basically done for today. Hey, I want to remind everybody to make sure that you share, like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Go to Investor Schooling and you can subscribe to the channel. Of course, you could take a free class at Investor Schooling this Thursday, tonight, or you could take it any Thursday. From time to time, I own some of the assets and options discussed on this show. The opinions discussed on this show are solely mine, and no one has asked me to discuss them. Thank you for watching Money Chat Now. We look forward to your continued support. Please like and share this video, and tune in tomorrow.